It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow. It's wet here today, and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's 10 to the left and 10 to the right. I'm not talking about a line dance, I'm talking about the corners here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6-mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down here today as the wet weather interferes with the low-speed grip. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Tsunoda, George Russell and Sainz, Lawson, Webber, Norris and Ollie Behrman, Ocon, Pierce, Alex Albon and Hadjar, Pepe Marti, Doohan, Gabriel Bortoleto and Lance Stroll, Aaron, Antonelli, Maloney and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday, but in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, But critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
P2 in quali, so a lot of good things. Just we want to make it perfect, so just keep pushing.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying and, of course, the main event, this weekend's Formula 1 Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:31.4. Russell, Verstappen, Piastri, Ocon and Tsunoda. We've been pushed down to P22. Here's a quick position rundown for you. The top 5 are the fastest lap at the moment, 1:31.4. Russell, Verstappen, Piastri, Ocon and Tsunoda. Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Yeah, beautiful job.
Well, you don't need me to remind you that Formula One is now so beloved in the United States that we race here 3 times a year. But let's give respect to COTA, or the Circuit of the Americas, to give it its full name. This place laid the foundations for this moment and still remains the host of the US Grand Prix. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Piastri, Esteban Ocon and Tsunoda, Hadjar, Aaron, Antonelli and Liam Lawson, Gasly, Leclerc, Alex Albon, Doohan, Bortoletto, Stroll, Mark Webber and Carlos Sainz, Maloney, Behrman, Pierce and Pepe Marti rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, But critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights, the start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. You're in first position, front of the pack. Piastri's behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window will open in 14 laps time. 27 laps to go. work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. Weather's changing now, we're going to have to change strategy, so it's time to box. Understood, copy that. Leading the pack, that's P1. Okay, Russell's behind you now. They've just entered the pits. Your pit window's now open, pit window is open. And that's 14 laps to go. Liam is in the pit lane. Liam's in the pits now. Box is currently full. Stay out on track. Stay out. Understood. Stopping this lap. Let's go, come on! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. our teammate by 30.8 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. They're 8th. Time last lap, 2:08.2. Okay, heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now, at least a 20-minute window of heavy rain. Inters look like the best tyre for now. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, and that's a red flag. Red flag. Keep the delta positive, and let's have you straight into the pit lane, please. Okay, we've done all right so far, but this is a chance to take a breath. We've got another half of this race to go, and there's still a big opportunity there. Right. Again. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. your teammate behind, 11.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. They're in 11th. And the time last lap, 1 minute 52.2. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. Oh, you worked hard for that one. Congratulations. Well done.
Yes, boys! Legend. We deserve that.
Here's the checkered flag. The fans rise to their feet. It's Lando Norris for victory.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
We have something for you to look at, please.
Hey, Chief. We have a part or two ready for development because they finished research. Let's get that in motion, shall we? Head to engineering for more info.